Hey, welcome to Hear Us Out. I'm Paul,
And I'm Patrick.
and today we're going to be talking about the new Silver Surfer, the Fantastic Four First Steps Silver Surfer kind of I guess dislikes of there's weird kind of
Controversy.
like
There's
issues.
people who are happy and people who are unhappy, Paul. And some of those people who are unhappy are very vocal because that's usually how it works on the internet. If you're not happy, say it loud.
Yeah, say it louder than everybody else, and then some reason you're right. But yeah, so we're talking about it's the Fantastic Four First Steps, the 2025 movie. They have a Silver Surfer in it. We've seen it in the trailers and everything like that. It is the female Silver Surfer, which was played by Julia Garner. It's Shalla-Bal, I think. I don't know.
Shalla-Bal, yeah.
Yeah. That's the version of the character that we're talking about. Not the male version, which was done in the second one of the I think it's Sam Raimi.
It was
Um,
the Fox, as I just referred to it, the Fox Universe Fantastic Four.
yeah, which was Body was portrayed by Doug Jones and Lawrence Fishburne voiced him, which was an interesting
There
thing.
you go.
But yeah, so yeah, the controversies are ranging. Kind of some of the controversy or some of the issues that people are having with the character are stupid. Um, it's probably the only way that it's once again this whole like it's a
Yeah.
woman, and it's just like, yeah, what's your problem?
Yeah, this
Um,
confused the hell out of me, Paul, because the problem people seem to have is, oh, this film's going to be crap because there's a female Silver Surfer.
yeah,
And that's dumb as rocks. Then there seems to be a level up of, this is all woke and there's a female Silver Surfer. Even though I know there have been female Silver Surfers in the comics, that doesn't matter. This is all just woke DEI, whatever. And then there's another level that I think is probably worth talking about because this is where I think this is where conversation can happen. But to anybody who's just annoyed because woman is already kind of off our listener or watcher list anyway, because they're obviously morons. But the fact that this has come up and those good old grifters that I'm always talking about, oh, you know who they are. They're going to be having a field day with the fact that, oh, this is terrible. Why did they go for a female, even though they'll say, oh, but why choose a female from the comics? I've got loads of reasons why you would make this choice.
hmm
And I actually happen to be one of the people who will not defend it because it doesn't need defending. I'm kind of glad they did it. And I've got a list of reasons why, Paul.
yeah.
But
No, I
you're somebody who's very close to the Silver Surfer as far as the character, but also the most recent portrayal by Doug Jones. So I think you should be the one to kick us off with how do you feel about the fact that they're not doing Norrin Radd and they are doing one of the female Silver Surfers?
perfectly fine. Like
Yeah.
we've like I was the one who brought up the subject, and I want to talk about what I would suggest is the legitimate like issues with having um this character. I'm gonna say this character rather than like because my thing is I'm glad that they decided to change it up. It's another aspect of
Hmm.
it's another character that we get to see. It's another version of the Silver Surfer, the Herald of Galactus, which kind of thing. It's just a more interesting kind of thing. We have seen essentially the others, the OG Silver Surfer on the screen. So why not mix things up, kind
Yeah.
of things, and also it probably also more aligns with what they're going to do with this version of Earth, kind of thing. But
Yeah.
I understand what I would say is the legitimate issues with having this character, which is to explain it. It's essentially just that everybody has it in mind that they enjoy that Silver Surfer, the male Silver Surfer, kind of thing, and they wanted to see essentially the new Marvel's version of it and who they would play
Right.
and stuff like that. Like I get that kind of like reasoning, kind of going, well, it's that character is very important. He's the main galactic herald for ages, um and he is very synonymous with the telling of this specific story, which is Galactus coming to Earth for the first time, and meeting the Fantastic Four. So like it makes sense that it's kind of like they had an idea in their head, and they have the character kind of in their head and stuff like that, and now we've decided to twist it and kind of go, not, and I don't mean gender bending or anything like that. I mean
Yeah, yeah,
specifically they've decided to go, well, this is a different version of Earth, this is a different Fantastic Four, so we're having a different version of Silver Surfer.
yeah.
That's the kind of thing. That's the legitimate like issue with having this character. It's just disappointment of
I
essentially.
get what you mean. So some people will be disappointed because they were hoping for another go at the character you know, we had it in Fantastic Four 2, the original Fox universe. But it would have been nice because this is now the MCU Fantastic Four again. You've got Galactus, you've got the storyline, um, and you would be hoping. So, like, I'm not going to be mad at anybody for hoping that, you know, they're going to get their short Wolverine, or they're going to get their, you know, all the different versions of all the different heroes that have ever, or villains that have ever been written or shown. It's like a lot of people. Superman came out recently, and I had a conversation with somebody who said they didn't like it simply because their Superman is the Donner 1977 or 79 or 77, was it?
Yeah.
The original Superman movie. And I was like, yeah, you've never read a comic or any of that stuff. And that's fine. That is their Superman. So
Mhm.
they're allowed to be like, I was hoping to see a Christopher Reeves telling again. You know, they didn't like pocket dimensions and all this stuff because like that's not Superman, blah. I'm like, it's somebody else's Superman. It's a lot of people's Superman. Everybody's allowed to have their own.
Yeah.
Same thing I would say with the Silver Surfer. But my one big thing to say to everybody who has that kind of, like you put it, the legitimate kind of feeling of sadness that they're like, oh, I was really hoping that we get this again.
Yeah.
I'd say, hey, good news. Number one, this is an alternate Earth. That means there are alternate Earths. That means there are multiple Silver Surfers possibly in the future of the MCU. Norrin Radd, the male Silver Surfer, could be back again in the future in another guise. You know, Galactus may be back, maybe not. Who knows? It doesn't shut anything down to do this,
Mm.
but it does give one more telling. And my biggest argument for, because I said I had a list of reasons why this is a good idea. Honestly, with an alternate Earth and they're doing the retro futurism of the like 50s, but you know, super future tech. I think it's nice when you're doing something like that, that they're like, okay, we're doing the movie. We're not doing the comics or the cartoon or whatever else. We're already taking our vision of this and we're giving it to you. And if someone says, and as part of that vision, we want to use one of the female incarnations of the Silver Surfer, I think a lot of arguments that I'm hearing against it online are, but like Shalla-Bal was only Silver Surfer for like a few pages, for crying out loud. You know, they could have gone with somebody else. There were other Silver Surfers that actually had more consequence, etc., etc. Who cares? This is not the comic books brought to life.
Yeah.
That's not what the MCU has excelled at. The MCU, when it's at its best, is taking what works and leaving out what doesn't. And the third thing that makes the magic happen is then having their own vision and applying it on top of that. I'm really positive about this for the Silver Surfer character
Mhm.
because I think it gives not only a chance for another portrayal, but then other portrayals again in the future. So I'm like, I'm two thumbs up and away we go.
Like I agree. I can't, you know, like that's why I like I want I the difficulty is that so I'm positive for this version. I also agree that it does give us the chance of essentially multiple different tellings of the Silver Surfer story, kind of thing. It doesn't matter that this character essentially is for their period of time as the Herald is very short compared to the rest of them. But then again, the Silver Surfer isn't also always the Herald of Galactus. There's been multiple versions that aren't Silver Surfers. They are like other heralds. But like, so I am also agreeing that I think that because we've seen there's already been a portrayal of Silver Surfer, I think making this different is a good idea. It
Yeah.
essentially separates itself out from the Fox version and goes, okay, we're doing Fantastic Four. It's a completely different version to these, you know, and that's, you know, it's a very visual way of telling it.
Yeah.
I think Julia Garner is going to give a lot of gravitas to this character.
I think cool casting. Like, you know, I was big in the Ozarks from I was bigging it up before anybody had heard of it. It was one of those things where because I like Jason Bateman, I was watching it from the start and talk about a breakout star from that show. I'm so glad to see her kind of this will bring more recognition to her, and I think she will bring some pretty sharp and cool ass talent to this. I'm really, really, really glad. You know, never minding the gender, I'm really glad they've got an actor of her caliber doing the Silver Surfer.
Yeah, like that's what I really enjoy. I really enjoy that they've decided that this is an important role, so that we need to put a very kind of like a good, talented like character actor in place to give this kind of like the herald of Galactus gravitas and poise, and there's also an element of kind of like I have seen this happening to so many worlds that I'm so indifferent now,
Yeah.
kind of like elements, and it's a really nice mix and stuff.
Oh,
Um,
on the face of it, a completely unsubtle character, but a character that can only work with lots of subtlety.
mm,
So, like, yeah, absolutely.
so like, but I understand the original thing was kind of like character disappointment kind of thing, as in like you have an idea of a character in your head and that one isn't the one. It's like I do that. I get a character in my head, a version of a character in my head. It's like Judge Dredd or there's tons of them. And I
Yeah, or
go,
even
oh,
Batman. We've had this conversation around Batman in the past. Like because there have been a few different portrayals, you've gotten closer to the one that you wanted more than once, if you know what I mean.
yeah,
And so have I in some ways. And they're two slightly different Batmen. And that's kind of cool.
yeah, and that's the thing. But I think there's an element of which you need to then like if you're not getting your portrayal or your idea of the portrayal of the character kind of thing, if I think you need to just accept the fact that this is the director's vision of the character and
Yeah.
that they were going down that road, and to give it a chance, because I would hate to see characters that they've decided to pick and choose and develop and stuff like that essentially getting weighted down by the fact that there's another version. Like for God's sake, yeah,
Yeah.
Superman, the Guy Gardner character, he's not the best known like a Green Lantern.
Lantern. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
there's John Stewart and also Hal Jordan. Hal Jordan being the most well known kind of thing. It was a perfect choice for
Yeah.
like because he's not well known and he's so different that it's just like cool, grand. We get to tell this story. Everybody gets interested. That's my point. As in, accept the change and then move
Oh
on
yeah.
with that kind of thing. Because like,
Well, can I put something to you, Paul, and let me know if you agree with this? There's two types of people that will have a problem with a change like this.
mhm,
They're the type of people who have love and care or passion or an interest or a history with the source material,
mhm,
let's call it. So the source material, in this case, lots of source materials, because there are many different tellings when it comes to these stories. There are many different the same characters used in different ways many times, the same
yeah,
characters played by, different characters, same hero, but different characters, etc. There are those people. And what you're, if I'm picking it up right, what you're saying is you can understand how people have that kind of legitimate hope in their heart to go, you're doing Silver Surfer and Norrin Radd, 95% of all Silver Surfer pages ever written that they read, where was that Silver Surfer? Cool, I'd love to see it. And then they're not doing that. And I can understand them having arguments going, but why wouldn't they do it? It'll work so matter. And they'll have story reasons and all the rest. That group, as long as they learn that last part that you just said of, you can say it a few times, but then you just got to let it go. Because otherwise we don't get to have nice things. If you crap on something and go, well, I hate this because it's not my thing. Oh, you're the problem, not the solution anymore. Like that whole band. The other band who haven't a clue and have never turned a page in a Fantastic Four comic or watched a single frame of the cartoon or whatever, and they're like, hang on, there was a character that was a guy, and now they're making it a girl. Oh my god, I'm gonna do something on my YouTube channel about how the DI wokeness is gonna kill the Silver Surfer.
yeah, yeah,
Like the people, like they don't exist in any sort of intelligent conversation. The other crowd, though, I think there is still two types. The people who will let it go and be grown up about it as far as grown up goes, and accept, hey, it's not everything is for you. You can still have your reasons why you wish the other thing.
yeah,
But if you're in the camp where you shit on something, if you become, and I hate to say this, if you become Snyder fan about it, and let's face it, We've
Yep.
we've had to pick on that particular group before, and I know that we're Snyder fans,
Hmm.
but not the way Snyder fans are Snyder fans. Everybody knows what that term now means. They're toxic people who won't let it go, and they're like, either it's my version or nobody gets anything,
Yeah.
which is messed up, dude. That part is messed up.
Yeah, that's like you can like I'm so perfectly fine with you having the arguments continuously having the arguments about why you think that it's a character should be the way that they,
Conversationally.
yeah, kind of
Yeah.
thing. But like if you're prejudging a character's like a choice of a character and stuff like that before actually seeing it, kind of thing,
Yeah.
it's kind of like I you don't really like if I get into an argument like if like comment down below, you know, your thoughts and return to this video hopefully like after seeing the movie because it's coming out this weekend, like and let me know what your thoughts on the Silver Surfer is and stuff like that. But like if you say like it's a terrible Silver Surfer choice and it's like, well, have you seen it? And they go no and I don't plan to. It's like, well, your opinion on the character is not
Yeah.
is not well rounded. It's not informed of a character because you haven't seen it. So like,
Yeah.
although I'm perfectly willing to have an argument, probably about 50% of my attention on it, because you're not informed. Like my problem with a lot of Snyder fans that I have had arguments with is they haven't seen the new Superman and they're saying that they won't. And you're just like, okay, so the only parts of judgment that you have are on the trailer and like what you've seen. So, but you're not in any way going to see it. And it's just like, okay, but you understand why I'm just going to disregard your opinion on it because I've seen both and I'm judging both characters. And
Yeah.
I like both characters for different reasons. But like it's very difficult to have a full-blown conversation with you when you're like, I refuse to see this. It's like, well, you're not informed. Like,
Yeah. And look, and I know we're talking about a Marvel property here, so I better be careful how much DC we end up pouring into, or we'll piss off a whole other group of people
yeah.
for crossing too many streams. But I think the Batman, the Batmans that we've had over the years, that's always fun between you and I, because your relationship with Batman is different than mine. I'm not going to say it's better or worse; it's just yours,
Mm,
and mine's is just mine. But I know when it comes to something like the Robert Pattinson Batman, I know how much you enjoyed that because it was heading in directions that you were like, yeah, but that's, and you know, you articulate it well, and I'm like, yeah, and that's not me, but I'm loving that for you. And then, you know, we talk about some of the Ben Affleck Batman stuff, and I'm like, see, if you had him, you know, if you could mix that with some of the Nolan, then you'd be right where the Batman where I want to be.
yeah.
And you're like, yeah, and you're like, I'm 75 to 85% with you too, but you know, 10% no, because we're like, yeah. So when it comes to this, like, and again, I don't want to say the Snyder stuff again. When it comes to people who are angry because they didn't get what they want, that's fine. But you have to learn to deal with that anger without taking it out. So if you want to keep saying, I wish they had done, more power to you. Keep wishing. Wishing is a beautiful thing. Keep doing it. But if you're going to say, I'm not seeing this because they should have done this, therefore I'm not seeing it, you don't have a place in the conversation.
Mm,
Famously, Paul, I told you something that made you nearly, you know, spill your Coke one evening. I told you I knew somebody who said to me, I'm not going to see the new Joker movie because Batman's not in it. And what's the point in a Joker film without Batman? And I was like, it's, oh my God. Like
yeah.
my brain nearly exploded because I'm like, okay, this is a new level of what the heck? Not everything has to be what you think it is.
Mm,
See a new telling. Fall in love with a new telling of an old story. Like that's the magic. People say there's no new ideas. Maybe not. But what about a brilliant new idea on an old property? That can be friggin' fantastic, can't it? I knew I was going to end up saying fantastic. I'm trying to not say the word fantastic right now.
but yeah, no, I agree. Having that, you know, having an idea in your head about what things are going to do and what they're looking like and what characters they're going to portray and everything like that is a good way to be and stuff like that. But don't be like once it diverges from that, fight your corner about the reasons why you think it should be, as long as they're legitimate reasons and not stupid. And I mean that in the kind of like,
Yeah.
well, that's a woman. No, screw you. No. Um, if you're
You're
having
an
an
idiot.
if you're having an argument going like, yeah, but they could have done this with that character, they could have done that with that character because it's really good in the background and stuff like that. That's cool. Have that
Yeah.
conversation, but always remember
Yeah.
down below the fact is that this is the director's vision of the property and stuff like that. So like how
Yep.
you have it in your head, that's what the
Yep.
director's doing, but they have the chance to tell the story. So let's be kind of like
Yeah, exactly.
allow that to happen and stuff like that. But yeah. So any closing thoughts on this?
Exactly. No, I think we covered it well there, Paul. I want everybody to be happy, but most of all, I want everybody to go and enjoy what is made, and then hope that if it's not exactly what you wanted, that someday somebody will have exactly what you wanted in their head, and they'll make that for you too.
Like and yeah, and we're also not saying that
I
it's
lost you, Paul.
no.
Oh yeah, sorry.
We're also not saying the fact that like it's
delay. Sorry.
Don't worry. We're also not saying that it's like it's going to be good or anything like that. Judge the film on the film itself, kind of thing. That's all we're saying. But don't prejudge it or anything like that. So, but yeah, comment down below what you think of what you the Julia Garner Silver Surfer, and let us know. Come back and tell us what you thought of the movie. Like, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and yeah. Other than that, I've been Paul.
And I've been Patrick.
We've been here aside. We'll talk to you next week.